Hello everyone, and welcome to my LA Speak Out project, and today I will be going over some very good tips for beginner Fortnite players that will improve them to become very good players. Okay, so for our first tip here, what I'd recommend doing is when you're flying down like this, constantly open up your glider so that it will constantly make you go down, but also push you forward at the same time. So you're going forward as you're getting lower, because a lot of problems like I see with beginner players is that they're, like, I'm already landing, and they're still up into the sky, and then I get a gun, and then they are unable to, and that means their game is ended. But then again, if you fly too low, you will not be able to make it to a house, which means you will get no loot, and your game will probably be ended from there too. Okay, so for our next tip, what I'd recommend doing is whenever you're out in the open like this, and let's say, for example, I have no cover around, even though I do, you always want to, if you're gonna, like, med up or use shields and stuff like that, even if you think there's no one around you, you never know. So you'd always want to go like this, and just build a simple 1x1 with a roof, which will protect you from any shots coming to you, and gives you the extra second to get ready for the fight. Okay, for our next tip, as you can see, I've completely caught this guy off guard by building up beside him, which he has no time to build any cover up here, because I get a surprise attack on him by building. So that kind of explains my next tip, which was whenever you get into a fight, always build, because if you're standing out in the open, there's a highly unlikely chance that you're going to be able to live when someone is shooting at you and you're just sitting there. You are most likely going to die. But if you're like set up like this, for example, it's possible for you to live, even if you're caught off guard. Okay, for our next tip is when you see tires like this around the map, what you don't want to do is go up to them and just jump on them like this, because that gets you like barely any height. But if you run up to them and press A, you will jump a lot higher. As you can see, I made it all the way up here compared to just a regular bounce, which can barely even get me up there. Okay, for our next tip, what's going to be happening here is I can hear a guy around here, and I have my pump out, so if I see him, I just aim for the head. As you can see, if I was unable to hit those headshots, I would definitely be dead right now. But since I was able to hit those headshots, I pulled it with 5 health, which is not that good. But always aiming for the head can save your life a lot of the time, so I would always recommend doing that. Okay, and for our next tip is something that I'm doing right now, is to always jump when you're walking like around and stuff, because if you're jumping, let's say you can't see a sniper around, like I can't see a sniper around me. If I'm jumping, it makes it 10 times harder for someone to hit me, and they would have to have a very, very good sniper shot, which a lot of people on PS4 on this game do not. So that is a very, very good tip for beginners. Okay, for our next tip, it is to never full break trees, or anything for that matter. So if I'm like walking along, and I start hitting this tree, I'm going to hit it down like this, to only 50, and then I'd walk away. Because if there's someone like across the map, they can see when a tree is broken. So by not full breaking a tree and leaving 50 like health for it, they will not like see it, and it's very unlikely that they will see you, which makes you last a little bit longer. So that was my tips for people that are just beginning Fortnite, or have played it for a very little amount of time, or for pro players or very good players that maybe didn't know some of the things that I told you. And I hope that this made you a little bit better at Fortnite, if not a lot. because I know these tips personally have helped me a lot when it came to Fortnite, just by figuring these out. And I hope that this was useful for you, and thanks.